Joe Milton, we thought earned himself at least a little bit of attention. The NFL had a big trade this morning.
Huge.
I don't know if you heard or not. The Patriots has now been traded to the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
We all thought that Joe was potentially going to be on the move because he and Drake May, obviously same class.
Breaking news, the New England Patriots are trading quarterback Joe Milton II and a 7th-round pick to Dallas in exchange for a 5th-round pick. Milton drew interest from multiple teams but ends up with the Dallas Cowboys. But it gets even crazier when you take a deeper dive into this trade. According to Jordan Schultz, Joe Milton was available at the start of the offseason. Teams that showed interest included the Las Vegas Raiders, Philadelphia Eagles, New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Dallas Cowboys. 3 of those teams either have an aging quarterback or have a better opportunity for Joe Milton to potentially start at the quarterback position. The New England Patriots not only had a better offer for Joe Milton in that particular instance, but Joe Milton had his pick of any of those teams, and he chose the Dallas Cowboys over a better situation and better opportunity for him to start, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, whose best opportunity at a quarterback would be Aaron Rodgers if Aaron Rodgers decides to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. The New York Giants, who have Russell Wilson on a 1-year deal, and behind him Jameis Winston, and are rumored to be targeting Travis Hunter with the number 3 overall pick. The Las Vegas Raiders, who just traded for Geno Smith, but Geno is in his mid-30s and Lord knows how much longer he could play. But Joe Milton chose the Cowboys over all of these teams. When Joe Milton was asked why he picked the Dallas Cowboys, he just innocently said that my family grew up as Cowboys fans. My mom always had a Cowboys shirt on. She always talked about them. Living in Texas has been a long-time dream of mine, and now I'm with them, I'm ready to work. But is that really the reason why Joe Milton chose the Dallas Cowboys? Because after all, Joe Milton was one of the most intriguing quarterback options for teams in need of a quarterback in the offseason. Milton has gone viral for his plays multiple times, at times even looking like Patrick Mahomes. I mean, take a look at this play that got called back versus the Buffalo Bills and tell me this isn't a guy that you could see eventually starting for a team in the NFL. Milton put together incredible tape in the New England Patriots' final game of the season, when he arguably caused Jerod Mayo to lose his job by leading the New England Patriots to a victory, completing 22 of 29 of his passes for 241 passing yards and a touchdown in Week 18. Rap Sheet even said that the potential is there and now he has a new home. Fans were angry at Joe Milton for winning this game, and this was his immediate reaction following that victory.
I mean, we got to handle how we handle our program as it is right now. We can't think too far in the future or can't think too far in the past, so we just been exactly where our feet is right now. As a program, like an organization, we just been here right now in the moment. So, thinking about a pick right now is way out of our hands. So if they're gonna give it to us, they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. Right now, today, the main focus was to win.
But when fans were really upset at Joe Milton for winning, he explained on IG Live why he had no choice but to perform as well as he did. And this just goes to show you Joe Milton's character.
I ain't played football since, what you want to say, preseason, you know what I mean? If y'all was in my shoes and y'all was given an opportunity to go play, why would you go out there and not show up and show out? Like, why would I go out there so y'all can talk about me if I lose? Y'all want me to go out there and lose, and then y'all be like, oh, I'm glad he lost so he can get traded. And then what?
That one game was an audition. Joe Milton wanted to ensure that he had a spot in the NFL for years to come. The New England Patriots already have their franchise quarterback in Drake May, so this was Milton's only opportunity to potentially get teams interested in him. And believe it or not, it worked, and there's a lot of controversy coming out of it. But first, we've been making a lot of money using my brand new live pick strategy on Prize Picks, and we're ramping up for the tail end of the NBA season. I give away my picks on Instagram at The Flight Mike and on Patreon at Mikerophone, and use my promo code Mikerophone to get $50 when you make a play of $5 or more. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. You might be wondering why this trade is so significant, because the Cowboys already have a franchise QB in Dak Prescott. But recently, Dak Prescott has been the subject of some bizarre rumors, such as maybe the Dallas Cowboys are trying to trade him to the Cleveland Browns?
The Browns are negotiating as we speak with the Dallas Cowboys for a trade for Dak Prescott.
This clip came out about a week ago, and once the Cowboys traded for Joe Milton, this individual doubled down on the trade.
I stand by the statement that I laid out on you last week. This could come about.
Let me reiterate what I did here originally in case you weren't with us last week. Dallas and Cleveland would make a deal. Cleveland would get Dak Prescott. Dallas would get Newsom. And the 33rd pick, that's the first pick in the second round. Now, if there's anything else involved in the deal, I don't know about that. I was not told that. I was not informed about anything else. There could be.
Diana Russini came out really quickly and debunked all of this, saying that the Dallas Cowboys are not interested in trading Dak Prescott to the Cleveland Browns, but on top of that, they just simply can't trade Dak Prescott to the Cleveland Browns. Dak Prescott is the highest paid player in the entire NFL. He also has one of the best contracts in the NFL. There's a no trade clause in Dak Prescott's contract, which means he has final say in regards to any trade that occurs that involves him. The Cowboys need a yes from Dak Prescott to trade him to another team, and just taking a look at the Cleveland Browns, it doesn't seem like any starting QB in the NFL would want to go there, primarily because this team is in salary cap hell as a result of Deshaun Watson's contract, so they're going to be playing with a huge handicap over the next couple of years. But this trade doesn't make any sense. I mean, Dak Prescott is in the best shape of his life, going viral for his recent transformation after his season-ending injury. And this isn't the only clip that indicates that he's in the best shape of his life. Dallas Cowboys media went out of their way to make sure Cowboy fans know that Dak Prescott is in remarkable shape. So why would the Dallas Cowboys make this trade? Because it's not only me that feels this way. Ian Rappaport even says that Dak Prescott's looking good.
Dak Prescott, when healthy, has been very, very good. The fact that he is now going through lifting, going through throwing sessions, these are all very positive steps toward his rehab.
So what do the top analysts in sports media say in regards to Dak Prescott and the Cowboys? Why would the Dallas Cowboys trade for Joe Milton if they have Dak Prescott? Well, this is what Shady McCoy had to say.
Dak, find a realtor, because Joe Milton got talent, he can play. I've seen other quarterbacks get paid a lot of money and they move on from it.
It's really difficult to take Shady McCoy seriously because his post-NFL career has been exclusively hating on the Dallas Cowboys, and I guess I would respect it at times, but some of the stuff he says just makes no sense. I mean, Dak Prescott is in year one of a brand new contract extension that was just restructured, so why would he have to worry about moving? I mean, there's no contract in the NFL that guarantees job security more than Dak Prescott's contract. And I understand it's fun to immediately state that the Cowboys are planning on moving on from Dak Prescott and they're looking for their next answer under center, or even saying that Dak Prescott is a terrible QB. But the facts remain that during the regular season, whenever Dak Prescott is fully healthy, he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Fans might suggest that he just hasn't been performing in the playoffs recently, and although that might be true, that still has never been an excuse historically to move on from a quarterback that has been as prolific as Dak in the regular season. There's a reason why the Cowboys gave Dak Prescott the contract that he got, and that's because during his last fully healthy season under center, he had his best season to date, throwing for over 4,500 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Dak was so good that he made AP second team All-Pro, made the Pro Bowl, and finished up runner-up in MVP voting. So once again, why would the Dallas Cowboys trade for Joe Milton? Well, this is what Emmanuel Acho has to say.
This is a Cowboy quarterback origin story. Think about Tony Romo. Tony Romo, 2003. Tony Romo was not acquired by the Cowboys to be a guy, kind of an afterthought.
Man, I absolutely love this take because Tony Romo was an undrafted free agent with the Dallas Cowboys for 3 seasons, while the Cowboys consistently shuffled through quarterbacks. Quincy Carter, Vinny Testaverde, Drew Bledsoe. And by the way, a very past his prime Drew Bledsoe. When Drew Bledsoe was underperforming, the Cowboys figured, well, we have nothing to lose. This undrafted quarterback that we signed in 2003 seems to have a lot of potential, so let's throw Tony Romo into a game versus the New York Giants, where his very first play of his career was a play action and an interception. I remember it just like it was yesterday. But there's one thing that Acho has mentioned in this take that is quite true. This is typically how the Cowboys have acquired brand new QBs. Tony Romo in 2006. The Cowboys' plan wasn't to have him as their starter for the next decade, but that's what ended up happening. 10 years later, the Cowboys draft Dak Prescott in the 4th round of the NFL draft just for some insurance because Tony Romo has been getting injured a lot recently. And when Tony Romo went down with a back injury in the preseason versus the Seattle Seahawks, Dak Prescott took that starting job and ran with it, resulting in this speech from Tony Romo.
You see, football is a meritocracy. You aren't handed anything. You earn everything every single day. A great example of this is Dak Prescott. He's earned the right to be our quarterback.
And this explains the real reason why the Dallas Cowboys have made moves like this recently. And it's not the only time that the Cowboys have made such a move. 2 years ago, the Dallas Cowboys traded a 4th round pick for Trey Lance, despite having Cooper Rush under center, who already proved to be more than capable as a Dallas Cowboys backup. When Dak Prescott went down with an injury in the 2022 season, Cooper Rush stepped in right away and led the Cowboys to a 4-1 record, keeping the Dallas Cowboys season alive. Was it the prettiest statistics? He completed 58% of his passes, 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, but it was enough to get the Cowboys those wins and keep the Dallas Cowboys season alive. But obviously, due to his statistics, the Cowboys wanted additional insurance in the event that Dak Prescott did get injured, because Dak Prescott has a history of getting injured and potentially lost for the entire season. Of course, we remember the devastating ankle injury during the 2020 season in Mike McCarthy's first season as a head coach. The Cowboys lost Dak for the remainder of the season, and the Cowboys would go 6-10 that year. In 2022, Dak Prescott would injure his thumb in the very first game of the season. Cooper Rush would lead the Cowboys to a 4-1 record, and then Dak Prescott would come back and lead the Cowboys to an 8-3 record. And of course, there was this past season where things didn't really look so good to start for the Cowboys. When Dak Prescott led the team to a 3-5 record, Cooper Rush would come in and lead the Cowboys to a 4-4 record. But the one thing Cowboy fans were wondering is, why wouldn't the Cowboys play Trey Lance during this time? And this is something that I personally couldn't make sense out of, because Trey Lance was on the final year of his rookie scale contract. So if Trey played and he sucked, he walks away next year and the Cowboys would get nothing in a trade for him. If he plays and is decent, then he potentially could have been our backup this year. If he plays and does really well, some other team would sign him and the Cowboys get a comp pick. But if he sat, then we really didn't know if he was capable of being our backup, and he most likely signs elsewhere for cheap and the Cowboys get nothing. Well, it looks like Trey Lance is more likely to sign in Canada than he is with the Cowboys again. Cooper Rush agreed to a contract with the Baltimore Ravens, which means the Dallas Cowboys only had Dak Prescott and Will Grier on their depth chart. By trading for Joe Milton, the Cowboys get multiple things. One, they get a quarterback that is 25 years old on a cheap contract that is absolutely electric and is capable of potentially being a starter. But this wasn't done so the Cowboys could move on from Dak Prescott. This was done so the Cowboys wouldn't completely lose a season if Dak Prescott went down, which has happened on 2 separate occasions already. He's only 1 year older than Trey Lance, and the Cowboys clearly didn't feel like Trey Lance was capable of being their backup QB moving forward. The Cowboys didn't need to give up that much in order to get Joe Milton, and he's under contract for another 3 seasons. I hope this isn't the case, but if Dak Prescott has sustained this many injuries over the past 5 seasons, then it's not crazy to assume that he will miss some time within the next 3 seasons, which would give Joe Milton an opportunity to start for the Cowboys and truly prove to us whether or not he belongs in the NFL. I think it's a great trade for Joe Milton. I think it's a great trade for the Dallas Cowboys, but it's not the trade that Cowboy fans and sports media think it is. So it seems like a lot of moves are happening for the NFC East, and something that might happen very soon that affects another team in the NFC East is that the NFL is trying to ban the tush push. We have a completely separate video on that, and I'm going to leave it in the end screen and I'll meet you guys there. I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.